Talk to me about the approach you take to it, right, and why it's important.
I think every coach steals little things from people they've been around, like they like, and kind of puts it into what fits for them.
Amazing group of people you've surrounded yourself with that kind of help you build what you want to build. So talk to me about that.
I try to have a couple things that we do this every practice. So like at Mercy, and even when I was a middle school coach, we pull flags every practice. No matter what, it's right after warm-ups. We do it every practice.
So for those that have been watching and kind of keeping track of us, we're going to deviate a little bit from the real estate stuff we've done. But I wanted to bring on my good friend, Dave Magee. Dave and I, if those that are watching that may not know, has been a longtime friend. I've known him since high school.
Yep, 20-something years.
Yep. He has coached my son Isaac in flag football through middle school. We've coached basketball together. He's ran one of the most successful tailgates in Louisville football history.
Hey, shout out Red Rivers Tailgate.
There you go. But now he's doing something totally different. Head coach at Mercy for the girls flag football team, and wanted to have him on just to kind of talk about that. Obviously, those that have been paying attention, it's blowing up now. It's exploding. And fantastic things are happening. So I can't think of a better person to have on to kind of deviate from real estate.
I appreciate it. I'm always down to talk about girls flag football. So, but if I could get in a time machine and talk to my high school self when we met, like, hey man, you're gonna be the head coach of football team one day.
Right.
Like, oh, excellent. Like it's gonna be a girls team. Oh, really? And then it's gonna be flag. Like, okay, yeah. But yeah, it's been a blast, and appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, like I mentioned, Dave and I have coached together basketball, and I've seen him coach football. And the most impressive thing about Dave, other than how much he cares about kids, because I think his passion for the sport and then how much he puts into the kids and the program and everything, it's your consistency and your structure. And that's the thing that keeps coming back from everybody that, either you've coached that I've talked with and been a part of, or even, from your program now, the people that I know around are just saying, how well organized you are, how well run your practices are, how it's just a different experience than they've had a lot of other places. So, talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me about, the approach you take to it, right, and why it's important.
As far as the organization and stuff like that, I had a coach in high school my senior year. His name's Coach Bruner, Coach Bart Bruner. He's actually still a coach at St. X. He's their defensive coordinator. And I remember just being like really, I don't know if impressed is the right word because I was only 18, but I knew what we were going to do every day. Like regardless, like I may have not known this specific drill, but he was real regimented and had everything down to the minute. And it made everything, to me, at least in my brain, much easier to understand, much like I wasn't wondering. Now, I always liked practice, but you still like, man, how much time we got?
Right.
Well, I knew kind of like, hey, we're in the third session, so we got like an hour left, right? Like, so I kind of based the way I run practice off of Coach Bruner. Now, I think every coach steals little things from people they've been around, like they like, and kind of puts it into what fits for them. So it's not exactly like the way he ran it, but that's kind of the baseline I went off of. And then as far as like being on time, like starting on time and getting out on time, you can contribute that. And my dad, senior, so I remember him getting extremely aggravated if coaches were holding us over. Like practice supposed to be over 8:30 and we don't get out till 8:40.
Oh yeah,
which doesn't sound insane, but as a kid you think, man, my dad's overreacting. But as an adult, and you're in the same boat with two kids that play sports, I'm like, man, a lot of these parents are on kind of tight schedules, and like, hey, I got to get here to Mercy, and they're done at this time. That gives me time to get to where at St. Bernard, where my other kid might be playing. And if I hold them too long, it screws everything up. So I try to think of that, and then at the end of the day, it's like, man, it's not that big a deal if we miss 10 minutes, right? So
yeah.
And then as far as like trying to be super structured, I will get on a tangent where I might work on, especially when it was tackle football. If I don't set timers and I don't have a schedule for my practice, I might waste 45 minutes on a three-point stance, not realize it, and I'm like, oh, we don't have time to do anything else. So, and if I'm giving advice to anybody getting into coaching, like have a schedule. You don't have to stick to it, but at least it kind of gives you a baseline. And then I know, like, okay, I gave myself 15 minutes for this. I think we need another 5, but that 5 needs to come from something. So
Yeah.
just as long as you can get done on time and get everything in, you can. You don't have to have super long practice. Like Coach Signetti from Indiana, I saw he was on a podcast and they were asking him how are your practices or whatever, and I think they were surprised at how quickly he got done with practice, and he doesn't keep them super long. And he's like, I can get more done in 2 practices than a lot of people can get done in 4, just because we're on it. Like there's not a lot of standing around. We got things to do and we get them done. So that's all I do. I don't think it's anything special. I think it's just stick to your plan. Basically.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that's the sign of a good coach, and anybody that's been around organized sports knows that. But and again, those that have coached know this. Those that haven't maybe don't. It is so easy to get off track, right?
Yeah,
and
so easy.
Yeah,
right.
and you're so much more productive when you're organized and you have it broken up and you stick to that plan. Because like you mentioned, the 3-point stance. I mean, I've coached a lot of basketball, and I mean, there are times when it's okay to go longer in a certain drill because you're trying to get something out, or you feel like they're right on the cusp of making a breakthrough. But also, it's real easy to get lost in that shuffle because of how things are going. And then you waste half a practice. And, going back to the time thing too, that's the thing I struggled with most because, I mean, I love being in a gym. I love coaching kids. And you're right. These parents have other responsibilities. They probably have to go from there to take another kid to another practice. And if you don't
try to keep that in mind.
And if you don't get them out on time, I mean that's a problem. But when you're coaching, that's not your mindset, right?
Right.
You are focused and you are stuck in a drill or whatever you're doing, and you're trying to get the team better, right, and move them along. And it's so easy to be like, oh shoot, we're 10 minutes over, guys. We got to go. We got to wrap.
And I think that's. And that's the biggest difference, like on the high school level for me at least. I think that's the head coach's responsibility, right? Like you have your assistants, let them worry about getting the drill done. And I'm not saying the head coaches aren't coaching drills, but like your responsibility is time management and delegation. And so even if like, hey, Jeremy wants to run this drill, I'm like, Jeremy, you have 2 minutes. Like I will like literally yell that like every time we have a minute left at any station we're in, I'm like, you got a minute. And sometimes coaches are like, Coach, can I get another 2?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, but when we're cutting into punt return or something, but we'll get it done. And usually sometimes I'll even kind of schedule a little longer on some of the sessions that I know we probably can't be pulling flags for like 15 straight minutes. Like it doesn't sound like a long time, but you're like, man, it's only been 5 minutes, right? So you can kind of find some time to play in there. But, it's just tough, like especially if you're coming off a loss or something and you're like, man, like basketball, for example, we lost because we couldn't hit free throws. And then you end up
the whole next
45
practice,
minutes on free throws. It's like, oh, well, now next game we don't hit any layups because we didn't work on that, right? So it's and then the other thing with the practices and being organized, I do, again, going kind of, not that anybody's asking for my advice, but I try to have a couple things that we do this every practice. So like at Mercy, and even when I was a middle school coach, we pull flags every practice, no matter what. It's right after warm-ups. We do it every practice. I know the girls can get bored sometimes, but I try to explain to them, especially high school girls, they're pretty smart. Like this is muscle memory repetition thing. Like if we go 3 days without pulling flags and then we have a game, I know you don't think you're going to forget how to pull a flag, but you just haven't done it in 3 days. And so every single day we do that. And with our offense, every single day we run routes and we do hand warm. You saw like we used to do with our Red Rage teams.
Yeah.
Like every day, no matter what, we're working at, and if we've had people like, man, your girls are so good at catching footballs. I'm like, well, a lot of practice. Right? Now, obviously, they're very great. They're great athletes, but I'm like, man, we just, drill it. And I've even had girls want to throw the ball soft and, it sounds kind of evil, but I'm like, break her nose. I was like, you can't throw it soft. No. You have to throw it hard.
In a game situation, it's got to be zipped. Like, you got to get it there.
So I tell the receivers, like, hey, even if you don't catch, you better get them hands up, right? Like, we're trying to develop you into great receivers, not a good receiver for a girl, like a great receiver. Like, so, I don't know, man. It's, I could sit here and talk about practice, talking about delegating time or whatever, but I don't know. It's fun. And if you're organized, people notice. And I think kids, no matter what they say, they don't like chaos. They like to know what's happening, right?
Absolutely.
Even if they don't like it, they like to be organized. They like to know, hey, this person knows what they're doing to an extent, at least time management wise. Yeah. I know what to expect. So
something else I wanted to touch on in kind of that general area you've always surrounded yourself, it seems, with really good coaches too. I mean, even at Red Rage, like
Yeah.
you had a really great staff, and your staff at Mercy appears to be the same. I mean, just an amazing group of people you've surrounded yourself with that kind of help you build what you want to build. So talk to me about that a little bit.
I think you kind of tie this into your realty. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded for one.
Yeah.
But when I'm looking for an assistant, I'm looking for somebody who I have really bad. I can't remember what the word is, but like I don't feel like I deserve what I'm getting. Like I don't feel like
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome. I
Yep.
have really bad, right?
Yep.
Like I think I always feel like I'm just tricking everybody into thinking I'm a good coach,
Which is insane because I've been around you for 20-something years.
Yeah, but
dude, you're a good coach. Come
I appreciate
on, man.
it, but it kind of goes into the like when we started that basketball program,
Yeah.
and I coached together. I was like one of the first people I thought of. I was like, hey, I need to ask Jeremy. Like, he's
Yeah.
a good basketball coach. Like, see if he wants to do this. And so I grabbed you and Kurt. I'm like, there's two dudes that I know are good coaches and know a lot about basketball, and we'll probably be pretty good. So the first thing I look for is like-minded, right? Like that are like me that I think love sports, and then I try to find people who I think know more than I do. So
Yeah.
maybe not about everything, but like our offensive coordinator, Sean Price, he's actually my neighbor, lives like 3 doors down from me, but very successful coach. He's a little bit older, so he's got more experience. He had never coached girls before, so it took me a little convincing, right? And by the way, after the first week, he was like, "I'll never coach
Yeah.
boys again."
Yeah.
But so I was like, "Dude, Sean, like, I have a pretty good offensive mind, but I was like, Sean knows more than I do. I've seen his playbook. I've seen his teams play.
Yeah.
It's like he could do a great job." And then my defensive coordinator Brock, same deal. Like he played college football, and he helped me coach when my son Parker was in 3rd and 4th grade.
Mhm.
So I was like, this Brock knows what he's doing, and they're both really likable, and they're not like real aggressive or anything. So I thought I was like, this will be a good fit. So same thing. Well, Travis,
Yeah.
that I met through you, that's quarterback training. I was like, this guy knows a bunch about football, way more than I know. And a perfect example, we took some of the girls down to a tournament in Bowling Green last weekend, and we played a team out of Indy who gave us a little fit with their defense. They were really good. And Travis, so I could break a defense down, but I like to sit at a computer
Yeah.
and break it down that way and have a game plan ready for the week. Travis, who in case anybody listening doesn't know, Travis Wright played Division I football, so was a quarterback. So his perspective is way different than mine. Like he sees it, it's almost like real time. Like,
Yeah,
oh, here's
on
a
the
hole, here's a
field.
hole, here's a
Yeah.
hole. I was like, perfect. So we get a whiteboard out, and he goes and shows our quarterback, like, hey, this is what we need to do. We adjust some plays,
Mhm.
and the next time we end up playing the same team in the championship game, and we destroyed them.
You're right.
So to me, I'm like, again, goes back to like, I don't know that I did anything, but I
Yeah.
hired somebody that knows what
Yeah.
they're doing. So, but all our coaches are great. We got Efren Carino from St. X, he helps us as an assistant with defense, but he's also St. X's head wrestling coach.
Okay.
So I get organizational stuff from him, like, hey, what has worked for you? How do you deal with kids that have attitude, or you think something might be going on, or parents or whatever? And we brought in a couple new guys this year, and just it's been awesome. Like I said, everyone on our staff's a great coach. If any of them got a head coaching job, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I know Travis really well, and I mean, I can't say enough good things about him.
Oh, yeah, man.
He
Great
is
coach.
phenomenal. I mean, the work he's put in over the last, I guess, 3 or 4 years with Isaac. I mean, a lot of what Isaac is becoming is thanks to that dude.
Yeah.
And he is, I mean, his football mind, how he works with kids, again, like-minded, talking about bringing like-minded people on. I mean, I think you all are a lot alike. I mean, he cares about the kids. He puts the time and effort in and wants them to be successful. And also, he's not easy on them, just like you. I mean,
Right,
you coach
yeah.
them hard, and I've seen you. You don't coach the girls any different than you would coach the boys. I mean,
Try not to. It's a player's a player to me.
Right.
Like I don't. I've definitely calmed down as far as how aggressive.
okay,
I
there
am.
are a little
Yeah, yeah.
differences, but
Right, but I don't even know that it's because they're girls. I think
Yeah.
just over time, I've gotten a little more calm, and then just understood that this doesn't necessarily work when I start screaming. Like a lot of kids will just shut it down. Like when I played, I hate when back in our day, but it was true. Like typically the coaches were meaner
yeah.
and would yell and scream.
Oh yeah.
We're used to it. Most of our dads screamed and yelled, so kind of used to it. But that didn't bother me as a player. It kind of made me like, I want to get this guy to be happy, right?
Mhm.
So, and it goes back to Coach Bruner. And I had another coach named David Burns. They were screamers to an extent, but uh, they would also be the first one to pat you on the butt. Like,
Mhm.
dude, that's what I'm talking about, right? So, and that's another thing I've kind of wrapped in. I'm like, and I'm not screaming at the girls, but like if you're coaching and you do have to rip into somebody, which you do sometimes,
Mhm.
you still need to be like their number one fan too. Like if they
Yeah.
get it, something happens, like that's what I'm talking about, right? Like that's perfect. Good example last weekend had a linebacker, and she's doing a great job. She's struggling a little bit with breaking on footballs when they're throwing a pass. Like
Mhm.
this team we're playing, running a lot of hook curls. I have another girl who's a primary offensive girl, but she's just all around good athlete. Put her in, she immediately gets an interception, right? Like breaks on the football, picks it off. So, and I never ripped into the other girl, but I was like, it was a good teaching moment. Like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and that's what it looks like. And then the rest of the tournament, she didn't get a pick, but she starts breaking on the football all of a
Yeah.
sudden. And you want to make sure, like, don't just tell them to do it. Like, if they do it, like, hey, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's
That's what I'm
it. You're
talking
getting
about.
it.
That's
Yep.
perfect. That's great. That's what we want to see. So, it's my advice on that at least.
For
Like,
sure. And I mean,
parenting.
obviously I've done a ton of coaching and that's something that you have to learn to juggle, right? Because there's a time and a place to yell and scream. I mean, there's a
sure.
time and a place to get into somebody, get into your team and let them have it, but also, you have to be a player's coach. I mean,
Yeah, I think
that's
so,
I mean,
yeah.
you have to
They
connect.
gotta like you.
Yeah, they got to
Yeah.
like you. You got to be able to connect with them. And I mean, really that's no different than what I bring, to real estate every day. I have a team and beyond, the sales and the closings and awards and things like that, I don't give a shit about any of that. What I
Yeah.
care about is that we help people and that the people on my team grow.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
that's honestly in my whole career, what I'm most proud of is the agents that I've brought in and taught them the way, you know what I mean? And brought their business along to a point where they're truly successful. And coaching is the same thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's very similar,
I
right?
mean, you
Yeah.
want your kids to go on to do great things. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's just a small part of it you've had, but you're part of that journey. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah, like I'd like for them to come back and replace me one day,
Right.
and maybe say something nice about me at my funeral. It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
I don't know, but like yeah, they have to. They don't have to love you. You don't have to be their friend or their best friend. But man, I tell you, like even where I work, we have great leadership, and I will do more for them because I like them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and they'll rip into me if they need to or whatever. But
But they've connected with you in a real
yeah,
way.
like
They've built that trust.
yeah, I understand their goal. I understand they actually care about me, even if one day I mean, don't get yelled at very often, right? But you know what I mean? Like, so I think the girls understand that, like, hey, they actually give a damn about us.
Yeah.
And this is not just because I tell people all the time, and I think especially the new parents when I have meetings, I've seen some faces like strikes them as weird when I tell them, like, I don't care about winning. And they're like, what? I'm
Yeah.
like, so let me expand upon that. Like,
Yeah.
I like to win, but I don't care about it. It's like if we do everything we're supposed to do, we'll win. Like,
Winning comes as a result.
right? Like, obviously, it still comes down to Jimmy's and Joe's, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can be the greatest X's and O's coaches that ever lived,
Yep.
and go out there and you play a bunch of teams that are just way more athletic and talented than you. It's going to be tough, but if you have equal talent and you teach them what to do, you're going to win. So
Yep.
like, we try not to harp on winning. Like, just, hey, good reps, do the right thing, fundamentals, be great and be smart out there, and then you'll win a lot of football games.
Yep. So pivoting a little bit, what made you want to get into coaching girls? How'd you first get involved?
So, well, like I said, you and I have coached for a while, and so my son Parker. So what happened was he decided when he was a seventh grader that he just really didn't want to play sports anymore, even though he's a good athlete, and
He was a really good
yeah.
athlete.
And looking back now, I can kind of like different perspective. Like, yeah, he never really loved any of it. I don't think he just happened to be good. But he decided that he wanted to go the route of music, which turned out to be pretty
Yeah.
good call.
Good decision.
Yeah. So his band's kicking butt, but so then I was kind of like, all right, well, that's fine. So I was like, I'm going to step down because I was a tackle football coordinator for Southeast Catholic in St. Bernard. And so I was coaching there too. And since I didn't have a dog in the fight anymore, I was like, I'll step down, let another dad take over, since Parker doesn't want to do this anymore. Well, like a week or two later, a friend of mine at St. Bernard was like, hey, St. Bernard wants to have a girls flag football team because the CSAA, had been had a league for a couple years with girls, and St. Bernard had never had enough girls to have their own team, or maybe not every year they didn't, but they had always been kind of merging with other schools. They're like, hey, we have enough girls, we need a coach. What's your thoughts? And I think maybe that came from they knew I had coached the Red Rage boys. We started that program and won a bunch of games, and it wasn't too dissimilar from flag. And so I talked to Vanessa, my wife, and then she's like, sure. So started coaching 5th and 6th grade girls who I had like no dog in the fight. So that was kind of nice, actually. Like I mean, I knew some of the girls because I knew their parents, but for the most part, I didn't know who was good. I didn't know who played before. I didn't know anything. And so that's kind of where it started. And we had a really good team. We made a good run. And then my daughter got into it the next year, so I got to coach her. And then we took a team to the Final Four of the city. And then after that season, I got a random email from Angela Passafume, who was the athletic director at Mercy at the time, and asked me about would I be interested in an interview for a job in high school. And I was like, I didn't know this was going to be a thing, right? Like, absolutely, so talked to her, and then they ended up hiring me. But yeah, so it was kind of just random that I got into it, and I loved it. And kind of like Coach Sean, I was like, I don't think I'll ever coach boys again. I've had a couple boys ask about the Red Rage team, bringing it back, and I was like, dude, it would be fun, and we'd probably be really good.
Oh, we'd be really good.
But I was like, I just don't know that I got it in me now. Like, I'm thinking with the girls.
Yep. So what surprised you most once you got into it?
Biggest thing and the biggest difference between them, and what surprised me the most, was how many questions girls ask. Like, they want to know. Like, I feel like the boys, you tell them something, you get it? Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't. Right? Like, the girls will get real in depth with their questions to the point sometimes where they'll ask me, like, why are we doing this? And I'm like, actually, let me think about this. Like, we've always done this. And so that's a huge difference is they want to know why are we doing this, when we doing this, what's the point of, so I like that though. I like that they ask questions and we can explain it to them. And it makes us better coaches too. Like, now I understand why I'm doing this. And then, and I hate to say, cause it sounds awful, but I was kind of like, man, you guys are ballers. Like, I was like, holy crap. Like, you're good at football. Like, this is crazy. Like, this doesn't look like girls playing football. It just looks like athletes playing football. Again, talking about the Jimmies and Joes, or the Jills and Janes, what do you want to say? I got lucked into a team that had a bunch of good athletes, so it made it much easier. But I think that just how athletic they were on the football field, and the thirst for the knowledge to learn how to play. Like, they weren't just out there because, well, we're just playing.
Well, I think that's the biggest misconception, because I've been around the sport. I mean, not just on the boys' side, but the girls' side too. I mean, we followed the middle school teams at St. Michael when Isaac was there.
Freaking juggernaut.
They were great, and those games are so much fun. I mean, I think that's the biggest misconception for people that haven't been exposed to it or that don't have girls, is that, oh, it's girls' flag. No, it's freaking.
Usually get the powder puff comment.
Yeah,
right?
the powder,
which I don't think they mean it in a bad
negative way, but it's
That's all you've ever noticed. Like, in high school, we had powder puff games where the freshmen versus sophomores, juniors versus seniors, and it would practice like a week and then go play. And it looked crappy. It's like because they had no practice, they didn't know what to do. But this is football.
It's real football. It's fun. They're aggressive. They're, like you said, they're athletic. I mean, it's a fun sport. At times, it's more fun even than watching the boys.
Fast-paced,
it's fast-paced. A lot of scoring. Like, it is fun, man.
Well, so we played for the state championship last fall. Lost at the last second to Assumption, but in that game, the Courier Journal, Jason Frakes came up to interview me afterwards, and I think he's like, "Hey, are you okay to, like, I know you're probably bummed out." I was like, "No, of course I wanted to win," but I was like, I even told him, I can go back and read the article. I was like, look around, look at this. It's like 3,000 people at Cardinal Stadium watching this football game that went down to the wire to the very last down with 1 second left, and they made a great play. They picked us off at the goal line. I was like, dude, this is like a state championship you see in movies.
Right.
And I was even on the sideline, like, of course you're always going to be like, yeah, we're going to win this, girls. But I was like, man, they punted the ball to us, and we had to go 60 yards to try to score to tie the game up. And I knew we could do it, but I was like, that's tough, whoever you are. And I was like, we're 1 yard away from potentially tying this football game up. I was like, this, even on the sideline, I was like, is this about to happen? I was thinking, like, remember the Titans or something, you know? So, like you said, it was so exciting. It was so loud in there. Like, it was amazing. And look, you'll get to games sometimes where you're just way either outmatched or way more, the other team's way overmatched.
Yeah.
That's not as fun because, sometimes you feel bad because there's games where we're scoring like 2 plays, like every time we get the ball. And so that's tough, but and I'm not a run the score up guy. I don't have any running plays in my playbook. So any coaches listening to this, I'm not running the score up. I don't have any running plays. But we'll try to tail it off and take kids out and subs in. But so sometimes those games can get, I don't know if boring is the right word, but not as fun. But you get 2 teams that can ball. In the spring, we played Bullitt East, and everyone decided they weren't playing defense that day for some reason, us or Bullitt East. And, it was back and forth. But we just happened to have the ball last and we won. So that was exciting. At least not for a coach, it's stressful because you can't get a stop. Right. But if I was just sitting in the stands, random, didn't have a dog in the fight, I'd be like, dude, this was awesome. Yeah. Right? Like they're throwing 70-yard touchdown passes, Yeah. And so it's fun. It's like you said, it's fast paced. It's easy to understand. Even if you don't really know what's going on, you can kind of figure it out from the stands.
Yeah.
And that's what I like most about it is it's easy to understand. It's fast paced. It's fun to watch, especially if you got a team that can put points up. So,
well, I think that's another one of the misconceptions too is that there's not football IQ involved. And
I mean,
there's a ton, especially from the quarterback position. So, I mean, talk a little bit about that. I mean,
so
the strategy involved in it. I mean, it's real football.
So that's the approach we took with the girls too. Was I'm not gonna like water this down because they're girls, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not stupid. They understand. Like half my team plays basketball, so I'm like, you understand basketball, you can understand this. It's not that whole lot different, So with the offense, I think with the receiver sometimes we don't call play for someone. Like I'm not running a play for Jeremy unless it was a very specific, like we're on the goal line and I got a 6'2" wide receiver,
almost like a hot route. Like you see a matchup you like.
Other than that, I'm like, we don't run plays for any specific girl. Like get open. Like and she has to. Now we might tell Maggie Walls, who our quarterback, we might tell Maggie like, hey, so and so will probably be open, but that doesn't mean you have to throw it to them. The biggest difference, at least for the quarterbacks with girls flag, is there's no one blocking for them on the line of scrimmage. And we have a couple girls in the backfield to try to get in the way, but you can't like just straight up block. You have to. It's like a screen block, and the rushers only have to be 2 yards off the ball. So as soon as the ball snapped, they're in their face. So that's a big difference between like someone like Isaac who might have time to have maybe 3 reads, or Maggie gets like 1. Like she gets to, like I get to make but now she's really quick on her feet, so she can make time. But that makes it tough. But with the girls and understanding the routes, I think. At first, they thought like we were just running random stuff, and I'm like, no,
there's a reason you're running this route.
I'm like, you may never touch the foot. You might not get a football thrown to you all year, but you might be the reason that so and so scored 7 touchdowns, right? Like because if we're running these crossing routes, we're trying to put people in binds, trying to make people have to make a decision, and then it's up to Maggie
to put the safety in the bad spot.
So perfect example, but with the football IQ thing though, like at least I can only speak for our team. They're very smart and understanding it. I have a safety named Emily Piles, and a couple weeks ago she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, they're going trips over here. I can't cover everybody." I was like, "I know, Emily." I was like, "They're doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
it's they're trying to flood that area. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, well, I want you to draw up what are we doing? Like, to give the whiteboard. She's drawing it." And then this goes back to like kind of trying to coach her without telling her exactly. Like I wanted to see what she knew.
You wanted to pull it out of her.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, I think of course they know they have to shade towards the strong side and all that stuff." But she's like, "Well, I think I can shade a little more because I can get to the post." I was like, "I know I can break on the post." I was like, "Well, you just answer your own question. Like you're freaking out because you don't know what to do." I was like, "Someone's going to get open." I was like, we got to hope we can put pressure on the quarterback." And our coverage is good enough. I was like, we do the same thing to teams. There's no defense that can stop an offense every play. Like if you run the offense correctly, someone's going to be open. Yep. Like if you're playing zone, right? Like, And man to man, I hope people play man to man. It's that
Yeah.
to me, you have to be some kind of special athlete to play it, regardless. But it is impossible to
It
cover
is.
people in man.
I was gonna say, do you see like 99.9% zone?
No. So a lot
Really?
of people try to play man. I don't really understand why. The only thing I can think of, maybe they don't get as much practice time. Don't have time to explain the zones, which is they're not super hard to remember. But if you're always used to playing man to man, sometimes girls will follow kids out of their zone, and that's we're
That's a
gonna have to
problem.
exploit it, right?
Yeah.
But so Emily understood what was going on, what she was seeing, but she was she was a little bit nervous, and I was like, Emily, you know the answer, like you just told me the answer, like that's perfect. And then we have a corner, and we took I feel like you hear this every sport you ever played. Talk to each other, right? But football specifically, like when our corner, if we're playing the cover three, which they understand how to play this, and in that tournament I was talking about was a great example. Now they end up scoring on it, which is okay because we were up like 26-0. But the way they talked to each other and passed the girl off, like it was beautiful. Our corner yelled at Emily like she's coming, and Emily saw her. They made a great pass and scored. But that's just things I like to see. And that to me, I'm like, dude, you're football smart. Like you understand this. You understand how this works. You're not just out here just trying to be an athlete and make plays. Like you understand what we're doing, which makes it harder for us to get scored on. Or on offense, it makes us hard to stop. Like if you understand what to do. And at this point, and I did it with the boys too with Red Rage. I'm like, if you see something while you're out here, like
Tell me.
Specifically on offense, I'm like, yeah, man, tell me. Especially like, hey, this corner's not very good.
Right.
Okay. Like we might not pick on her the very next play, but like I'll keep that in mind. Like you think she can't cover nobody? We'll run a play right there every time, right?
Yeah.
We've even done things where we've ran the same play like 10 times in a row, and the girls are like,
oh, for sure.
Why
Yeah.
we keep running the same play? I'm like,
it works.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to run this till they stop us, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that goes with the football IQ. They're very smart. They get it, and it makes them tough to deal with.
Yeah. So, and actually, is there a certain kind of athlete that you look for when you're recruiting?
No.
Another sport that translates well.
Honestly, I've seen great crossover from every sport that we've dealt with at Mercy, at least. So softball girls are great because they're quick on their feet. Typically, they're good athletes, have great hands,
Good hand-eye.
Yeah. Basketball players make really good receivers,
Yeah.
right? Because they're tall, they're fast, and they can catch. Soccer players, great footwork. We got our rusher. She was top 5 in the state in sacks, and she played soccer too. Like I think a lot of sports translate to football. And what I like about football the most, I tell people this all the time, is I have a daughter who's she loves football. She's not the biggest or the fastest or the strongest or the most athletic, but man, there's a spot for her. Like that's why I like football. Like you don't have to be run a 4.40 and be 6'5" and be able to contribute. So the girls that block, maybe they don't have great hands, but they're really fast side to side and they're tough and
that's an important position.
Yeah, like
when you're getting blitzed and you don't have it.
They're getting in the way.
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean we won't throw the ball to them. But I'm like, if you're not here, we can't do anything. I tell them all the time, like Lamar Jackson not doing anything is always blocking for him, right? Like football is one of the sports, and I'm sure I'll offend some other coaches, but I always bring this up to the girls. I'm like, most sports, one person can take over to an extent. I was like, basketball, if you got one stud or even two, like they could take a game over. Like you could be unstoppable. Wemby, for example, last night, I think he had 41 and 24. Like, dude, he's unstoppable. Like you can't stop him. Softball or baseball or whatever, if you have a really, really good pitcher, no hitter, like they won the game on their own almost, like because they're such a great pitcher. I'm not discounting what everybody else is doing. I'm just saying football doesn't work that way.
No.
Like it can't happen. Like quarterback could be the greatest quarterback of all time if our center is terrible and can't get the ball to her. She makes no impact. If no one can block for her, she makes no impact. If I have a great center and great blockers, no one can catch football, we're not doing anything. Like, so it takes, the village, right? It takes a village of girls, shapes and sizes and athletic abilities and attitudes. It's a great mixing pot in football to make a good football team. I don't need nothing but 6-foot girls. Like, I'll take them, but like I can win with girls of all shapes and sizes and abilities and ages and attitude. So that's why I really like, and that's not just flag, that's football in general, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can be impactful and not be the star or not be like some, 5-star athlete or whatever. That's what's great about it.
And that's such a good point because I mean, football has so many more impacts and applications in life than just the sport, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't play football growing up. I was a baseball and basketball player. But football, like you said, is truly that team sport where it takes everybody doing the right thing, being on the same page, or none of it works.
Yeah. I mean, I think it makes you, most of the coworkers I've ever worked with who were great coworkers typically played some kind of sport, right?
Hmm.
And football, to me, is the greatest one of it's like teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Like Jeremy's got to play this cover 3 right,
Yep.
or I'm going to get
Yeah.
like burnt, right? Like,
Yep.
or I can't cover all these people, like,
Right.
So that goes again to talking and working together, and like I said, it takes everyone working together to be successful.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. So why has there been such a big push to expand the sport to make it a more of a thing in high school and now ultimately becoming sanctioned? So
Yeah.
why now? What's kind of brought that on?
I
I mean,
think-
other than it being awesome.
Yeah. I think big part is, I think, back in the day, they're like, oh, baseball's America's game or whatever. I think football.
I think it is too.
Everyone loves
Yep.
the NFL. And I think there's probably been a want for a long time for girls to play football. Like, I'm sure they've wanted. There's probably all kinds of even women our wife's ages. They would have loved this.
Oh,
So,
for
like,
sure.
but there was never an opportunity for them. And to be quite honest, I don't know when it started picking up momentum. I just can only go off when I started in it. But I just know, like, even when I was a middle school coach, like thinking like, man, this could be so big in high school. Like, if we could get it going, then it happens. I think it goes back to why it's gotten so popular so fast. One, football is just popular. It's fast, like I said, fast paced. It's
entertaining.
fun.
Like,
It's
it's
entertaining to
awesome.
watch.
Yeah.
And for us, I'd play. Every program can't do this, but we've got enough kids in our program and enough kids that are good where I don't have to play anybody starting on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely girls that could for
Yeah.
sure, but I don't need them to. And so that's 14 girls every game that get to play,
Yep.
right? Versus some other sports where there's not as many. Basketball's tough sometimes. You got 5, and you kind of got to stick with who's out there, like who might be on fire or whatever at
Yeah.
the moment, right? And so there's not many sports where you can say there's just 14 girls that play significant minutes every game, and then we have subs that come in and out. But so I think that helps make it popular because there's a lot of kids on the field.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get a team going. Like, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, if you're being trying to be super cheap about it, t-shirts, flags, cones, and a football.
Yeah.
That's all you need,
Yeah.
right? Like, of course, there's a lot more stuff you can grab.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's all you need. It's a lot like, one of the reasons soccer is so popular around the world is because you just need a ball. Like, you need a ball, and this wall's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to have a net, right? So I think that helps. It's not expensive for schools to start, and it's something girls are excited about. And I saw a statistic earlier that said by 8th grade, like 45% of girls quit playing sports.
Really?
Yeah, so it's another opportunity for them. Like, hey, maybe this is for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, like the whole, like, football being a great sport for kids of all different shapes and sizes and abilities. Like, I think they recognize that. Like, I know at least at Mercy, some of the girls like, oh, so and so plays. The only thing she's ever done was shoot archery, right?
Yeah.
Like, and she's really good. I was like, she's. Yeah, well, come on,
Yeah.
like, she's not the only girl that's a success story. Like, maybe you will, come play. So I think that's what's helped it. And then Joe Shepard over at Eastern High School, at least in the state of Kentucky, as far as how it got, because I think, I could be wrong, but it's either the fastest sport to ever get sanctioned or the second fast, something like that. So typically it takes a while
Yeah.
for this stuff to happen. The athletic director over at Eastern High School, Joe Shepard, a couple years ago, was like, hey, we're going to start this as a club league because I think he saw the writing on the wall before everybody else, which is awesome. I'm super grateful for it. And so we started it 2 years ago, and that's why Mercy reached out to me because they were like, we're going to get ahead of this, right? We're not going to wait until it's sanctioned. We're going to try to get a team rolling now.
Yeah.
So that first year in Kentucky, there was only 12 teams that played. And it was fun. It was a blast. Everybody loved it.
And that was for the whole state.
The whole state.
Wow.
So, but so last year was our second, and it was already up to 24 teams, and he cut it off at 24. There was more teams that wanted to get in, but they kind of gave a date, like if the drop dead day, I need to know by this time or whatever. And so then you go from 12 teams being in the league. We had a championship over at Ballard, which was fine, to 24 teams. Championships in Cardinal Stadium in front of 3,000 people, right? Like in 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think the KHSAA, they had to notice that, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, Joe's got it in because he's an AD. So I think that's where, like, man, there's a need for this and a want for this. They sent the survey out. I think something like 89 schools in the state of Kentucky responded that, yeah, we'll field a team. By 2028, we'll field a team. So, like, that's amazing. Like, there's other sports that barely have 20 schools that play, that are sanctioned already.
Yeah.
So I just think, perfect storm kind of too. Now the Olympics is going to have it. That's 5-on-5. It's a little different, but still, if I'm a young lady and I really love this and I see that opportunity, like I could play in the Olympics playing football or lots of college opportunities right now too. Which I think you was going to ask me about that.
Oh, yeah.
So now's a great time. So if you want to play a sport collegiately and you're not really like just dialed in on only one sport, like I'm a basketball player, I'm a softball player, whatever, you just want to play something the next level, this is the time to do it, right? Because there's programs starting every day. I get emails and texts and messages on Instagram and stuff all the time, like, hey, you got any 26s, you got any 27s or whatever, and like we just started a program, we have 17 scholarships to give out, so.
Well, that's one of the things that you've always done really well is social media and trying to promote your players and your program. And so what are some of those opportunities? Because it seems like you're getting, I mean, obviously you've got some really good players. I mean, Magee's insanely good.
Yeah.
But what are some of those opportunities you're starting to see?
Is
it scholarships? Is it real money?
Yeah. So we had 3 girls signed to play college flag football this year. So, and I think 2 of them aren't going to have to pay anything, right?
That's
it's not all football money, but it's a lot,
but football is what opened the opportunity.
Correct,
it's what opened the door.
We have 2 girls going to play at Lindsey Wilson and 1 girl playing at Campbellsville. And like I said, you're getting your college paid for through flag football. And so not only do you get free schooling, get to get your degree, but you get to do something that's fun. And Lindsey Wilson, that's only going to be their second year coming up this spring. Campbellsville's been around for they've had a program for 6 years, but you're to me, I'm like, you're still one of the foundational members, that started this. So when you get older and you're talking to your granddaughter or something, and to them, like, oh, flag football's always been around. It's a big deal, right? Like, well, I was one of the people that started in the state, right?
Yeah.
Like I played in the first league ever in high school in the state. I played for the first team ever at Mercy. I played for one of the first teams ever at this college, right? So there's a lot of opportunity right now, and this might sound kind of bad. I don't mean it this way, and really don't mean it towards the girls that ours at the time. They're all really good football players. There's a reason they got offers, but you don't have to be like a mega superstar right now because there's so many scholarships that people are giving out. They need players, right? And you might not necessarily even play the position that they want you for. They need football players to come in and
just
play.
A lot of opportunity now.
And then 10 years from now, maybe when it doesn't look like this because there's established programs and everything, but and now Division I's coming on board.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about next. I mean, is it expanding to the higher levels of college football?
Nebraska was the first team to offer a full ride to a quarterback.
Wow.
So just you're playing Big Ten football,
right?
So you imagine
no,
that's insane. I play Big Ten football, dude. So that's the next progression is Division I, and then. I don't know, I've seen NFL talking about pro leagues or whatever, and I don't know. The only thing that I don't love about flag is there's a lot of different versions and rules. I wish they would just kind of look, let's say I was St. X's coach and I decide I'm going to go out and play modern day or whatever. I don't know if that's in California. I think it is. I don't need to ask him what rules you play by. Right? We show up.
We play by the same rules.
Everyone plays the same tackle football rules versus we got asked to scrimmage Floyd Central last fall, who at the time was the number 2 ranked team in Indiana. They have 100-something teams that play flag.
Indiana does?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But their rules are a little different than
Yeah.
ours. So it was easier for us to adjust to theirs. But that's the only thing that kind of stinks. It's not that big of a deal.
Mhm.
But like, hey, what rules do you play by? So I would like to see that. The biggest thing is like, do you play sevens or do you play fives, which
Mhm.
is a big difference as far as the field size and how you call plays and stuff like that. But like the Olympics is going to be 5-on-5. I personally hope it goes to 7-on-7 all across the board. But if it did go fives, I would adjust. But it's I don't know, man. It's every day I feel like I read something new that's happening or new program or new things the girls can get into. So it's fun to be a part of.
So what does it mean exactly for it to be sanctioned, and what impact does that have overall on the sport? I mean, I know it's
Yeah.
coming in 28, right?
The spring of 2028,
Okay.
so it'll be the 27-28 school year. Um, so when I asked about that, because like I said, we played at Cardinal Stadium for
Yeah.
a state championship. Um, the biggest thing I think it means it's like officially sponsored. So I think something I can't remember who sponsors all the football and basketball. Something Clark's Pump and Go or something,
Mhm.
right? So you have an official sponsor, right? But then also what comes with that, obviously you're getting recognized by the state as the champion,
Yeah.
right? And then so as far as I know, that's the biggest difference. But also what comes into that is national attention. Like,
Yeah.
now you can be on Max Preps. Now your stats are going to be like getting uploaded to things. Then we did a Kentucky All State team and a Kentucky Misses football and stuff, but it's definitely going to hit a little different when it's like you're the KHSAA champion
Yeah.
or All State or whatever. So it just, to me, I'm like, this is just like recognize like, hey, this is real now. This is a big deal now.
I
Like,
guess
we're
it'll
recognizing
probably
this.
help schools just by the fact it's becoming sanctioned. Actually,
Yeah,
put
so
a
there.
team,
I
put
know
teams out
there's
there.
schools that didn't want to do it until it got sanctioned, right? So that's the other thing. Maybe it gets some more people just on board because, like, okay, this is legitimate, whatever.
Yeah.
Although the club thing is legitimate too. Like, I think field hockey or boys lacrosse or something was a club sport for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But they still had state championships and stuff. Now but now they're sanctioned too,
Yeah.
right? So, so I didn't even know about it until they got sanctioned. So there's another thing, like just attention, right?
Yeah.
Like now it's going to be out there. Now Courier Journal's writing a bunch of articles every week. They're not just coming
Right.
when it's the state championship. Now they're like, hey, so and so, the number one quarterback in the state or the number one receiver preseason. Right? You remember, you get the preseason write ups.
Oh, yeah.
I remember like, oh man, is my name in here? Am I like considered one of the best players in the district or whatever? So you'll get that. I just think more recognition and just makes it more valid, I guess, in people's eyes. It's always been valid in my eyes. I'm like, look, dude, we've got 35 scholarships that have been offered to our program. I think 13 girls, 35 scholarships. So I'm like,
and you've 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, we're not even sanctioned, and we're getting these offers. So people look at it as real, but just the average person's eyes, maybe like seeing it's sanctioned, like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, it's real. Anybody listen to this? There's money to go get for scholarships, and it's just fun. It's a fun time.
Yeah. So culture is a big thing in sports.
Sure.
And to be successful, you have to build the right culture. And I mean, that's true in business as well. What kind of culture? Talk to me about your culture. What kind of culture have you built there? How do you cultivate it within your team? What's that look like?
So be quite honest, I think I've gotten really, really lucky so far. And honestly, all my coaching ventures have a bunch of really nice, good kids with great parents. Now, over the 10 years that I've coached total, there's definitely been some turds, in the toilet. But here's kind of how I try to build culture. For one, I tell the girls all the time, like, this isn't my team. Like, yeah, I'm the head coach. I'm going to try to put you in a position to win, but this is your team. Like, so the way you act, the way you carry yourself, reflection on not just you, not just me, but Mercy. So how do you want to be looked at, right? Like when someone's talking to you, like we're having a conversation right now, I'm like, dude, those girls over there are jerks, right? Like, is that what you want?
Yeah.
No, that's not what you want. And that's not what I want. All right. So I think for one, if you do have any attitudes, you kind of get them in check pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at least what we do, and which I think works, and this again kind of goes back to my dad growing up. Like mean what you say
Mm-hmm.
and do it, right? Like, don't give them some kind of these are the rules, and then
Mm-hmm.
oh, just because it's my star player, like well,
Yeah.
we're gonna like I will bench you. I don't if you're the greatest flag football player that's ever lived, if you break my rules,
Yeah.
you're not playing,
Right.
right? So, and I think they respect that. Like, like they don't have to agree with every rule you have, but like if I know Coach Dave tells us this, that's what he means, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not going to waver. He's not going to waver just because this girl's not very good and this girl's the star player. So I think they kind of that kind of builds respect and that kind of builds culture as far as like, hey, these are the standards. We got to abide by them. Now, when you set standards and rules and stuff, I'm not the type where it's like everyone has the exact same expectation. The rules are the same, but like
Mm-hmm.
kids are different and how
Yeah.
you have to deal with them. So I might have a kid who's maybe they do have a tough home life or something, and
Yeah.
I'm aware of it, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they have more of an attitude sometimes. I'm going to be a little more lenient with, like, I'm going to talk to them a
Yeah.
little bit, like, hey, or if they just tell me, like, Coach, I had a rough day, like,
Boyfriend just broke up
right,
with me.
stuff like just
Yeah.
crazy things. Like, you can't put yourself in a box, right? Like, you got to have compassion
Yeah.
for kids. And I think that helps culture too. They're like, man, they do care about me. He doesn't just care about going to win. He cares about if I had a good day. How are my grades? Like when I ask him, I mean it. Like I'm not
Yeah.
joking, right? Like I'm not just saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that helps build culture. We try to put girls in positions of leadership. Like if I choose you to be the captain, there's a reason. I'm not just saying you're just really good. You're
Yeah.
the
It's not
captain.
for show.
Yeah, like so I expect you. You don't have to be. There's different kinds of leaders. There's ones that like, hey, I do it and you follow my lead. There's girls that talk. There's girls that yell. Um, but we'll have a meeting with them, and I'm like, I expect you to report to me when there's something wrong, or if you think there's something wrong or you sense something. Like, doesn't mean I'm going to say anything. Doesn't mean I'm not going to tell them you told me.
Yeah.
Like stuff. That's fine to tell me if you think, hey, Jeremy is being a jerk, right, to everybody. Like he's kind of like or talking smack about people, whatever. So if you give them some ownership too of their own team, I think that helps, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I tell them all the time too, I'm like, you don't have to like each other. I'm like, it helps if you do, but I'm like,
Yeah.
there's people I've worked with through the years that I like them, like, but I can work with them,
Within any team, you're going to
Yeah,
have conflict
like-
at some point. It's just inevitable.
right? Like, dude, like I might hate little Timmy, but Timmy's good at football, and so we're on the football field, and he respects me on the football field.
Yep.
I'm going to respect him too. We don't have to go hang out at Chuck E. Cheese after practice, but so it's all about respect and giving them some ownership. And like I said, biggest thing for us, I think it's helped is just like if we say something, we mean it. So just follow through, don't waver. Obviously different situations. Sometimes you have to think things through a little bit differently, but I think that's what's helped build our culture, and having really good parents helps. And I know some coaches want to just cut everything off and no parents involved, blah, blah, blah. I'm not like that. Like, for one, the way that we like to run the program anyways, I need help sometimes with things. I have crazy ideas all the time. Luckily, I have awesome team parents. So I think if you give them, like, dude, this is your program too. Like, your kid, you're here a lot. Like, your kid's here all the time. Like, I want you all to be a part of it. So feel free to help out with things if you want, or just reach out to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to think like, stay the hell out of here. Like, this is my team, whatever. I'm like, this is really truly a family. Like I've met a lot of great parents that I'm friends with now. And, but I give them the same talk. Like, so the beginning of the year, we have our meeting. I can pretty much go through it by memory now, but I'm like, don't be the reason I kick your kid off the team either. Right. Like, cause I will, like, I don't care. Like if Jeremy Byers is being a problem every week in the stands or always has something to say or whatever, like, dude, I'll just kick your kid off the team.
Yeah.
And then, now look, Mercy might come back and tell me I can't, but I'm like, usually my speech is, I will kick your kid off the team. It's like, and I'm going to let you explain to them why they're not playing football anymore because you can't handle yourself. Right.
Yeah.
So I want the same culture on the field and the same culture in the stands. Like, so I don't want people going home. Let's say I'm an Atherton family and we played Mercy, and I don't want people going around like those Mercy parents are jerks, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want people to think like, dude, these are good people. yeah, they beat our ass, but it's like, but they were nice about it, right? Though,
Hopefully, you never have to find out if you're able to kick a kid off for their parents.
yeah,
So
no,
hopefully-
so far so good, right? Like,
The attitude thing is tough, man, because I mean, obviously, I've coached a ton, and you want your kids to play with an attitude, with a
Yeah, you
fire,
want a
with
little bit of dog,
passion.
yeah.
You want that, but they also have to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not, you know, the basketball equivalent would be like, you know, elbowing kids in the back
Yeah.
and, you know, like playing dirty. I mean, you don't want that, but you
No.
want them to have an edge. So
Yeah, I always tell
that's
them
always a
aggressive-
fine line.
Yeah, aggressive teams win,
Yeah.
right? Like, so I always tell, obviously flag's supposed to be non-contact, but I'm like, hey, knock them on their butt. Be the first one to help them up,
Yeah,
right? Like,
right.
dust them off. Like, hey, man, sorry about that or whatever. Like there's no problem with being aggressive. Like you said, it's how are you aggressive? Like,
Yeah.
are you grabbing someone's flag and launching it 15 feet in the other direction because you're an asshole?
Yeah.
Or like punting their football across the field so they can't go get it. Like things like that don't fly with me. So it's again, we've gotten a lot of compliments about our kids like being nice and stuff. So, but sometimes I'm like, hey, between these football lines, you can be a jerk a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Like
You got to play with an edge.
Yeah, for sure.
So obviously all sports in general are meant to, you know, be a part of a team, teach them life lessons, but also instill confidence and growth, right? I think that is the point of sports. So have you had instances where you've actually seen that, you know, maybe a kid that's a little shy come into the program and then all of a sudden blossom and gain that confidence that carries over into other parts of life?
For sure. I got a great example. And I'm going to use her name because I don't think she'll care. And she's a great kid. And I've even told her this 100 times, of a young lady named Maddie Grace. And she came out our first year. She was a sophomore. And I'll be quite honest with you. And like I said, I've told her this multiple times because I'm very proud of her. Like I told her, Maddie, I did not think that you would come back the next day, right? Like she, we would do drills. You could tell that maybe if she had played a sport, maybe it has been a while or just wasn't like football. I know she shot archery and stuff, and she's a great kid. But like even like backpedaling and then transitioning into like a sprint was hard for her. Like she fell a bunch, but so that's kind of I was like, man, I don't know if this kid's going to come back.
Yeah.
And she did. She just kept coming back. And it's the same kid I was talking about breaking on the football, right?
Right.
So her first year, she's on the JV team. And then, but man, she just kept getting better. By the end of the first season, she ended up being really good on defense, and she won like most improved player for the JV team. So and I could see her confidence growing. And again, she asked more questions than anybody I've ever met, but she puts it into practice. Like it works. And then we gave them an off-season workout between her sophomore and junior year. And I told them, I was like, hey, feel free to post on our Sports U when you get done with the workout. Just hopefully motivate other kids. Oh, dude, every day. Like she was like, boom, boom, boom. She did like 60-something workouts on her own. And then when it came time for tryouts last fall, it was very, very evident that she did them. Like I was like, holy crap, dude, this is a different kid. And I tell the girls, like Maddie Grace is a great example. Like she forced me to put her on varsity. Like she earned it. I was like, man, that kid, it went from, down here to, dude, she's up here now. And she's got a lot of room to grow still. But just watching her confidence grow from that first day where I was like, man, because she seemed upset and all that stuff in that first week or so, thinking that no way she's coming back to that. I was like, night and day. So when people ask me about evaluating talent and how do you deal with certain kids and stuff, I try to let them, like, it doesn't happen with every kid, but I'm like, man, don't sell yourself short as a coach and think like, oh man, she can't even do this. She'll never cut her, right? We're in a position where we didn't have to cut anyone. So we kept working with Maddie Grace, and she's not the only one. There's other players that got a lot better too. You help their confidence grow. They become better football players, better athletes. She's a captain. She was a captain in the spring, and she's not afraid to talk and get people hyped. And so don't sell yourself short. Anybody listening, like if you have a kid that doesn't seem like they totally get it yet, like because if you keep working with them and they want to get better, they can be contributors. She's a contributor. She doesn't start, but she forced her way into that varsity roster, and she does play a lot. Like she comes in and gives us rest on reps and plays multiple positions. So That's the greatest example I could think of. Like, I will never forget her until I die. Like, she's a great kid for one, you know, just
Yeah.
a really great kid, a really great family. And just watching her progress the way she has been amazing. You know, if I never win a state championship, just something like that. I'm like, man, this is awesome. You know, like, makes me feel good.
You're
So,
gonna win a state title.
well, we'll see. I
You're
come in
gonna win
second
a
a lot.
state.
But it's like,
I think you're well on your way. We're getting ready to run out of time, but before we do, a couple other things I want to real quickly touch on. One is you all have a big middle school event that you're hosting,
yep,
right? So, which I'm also going to sponsor. We
that's
talked
my
about that
man right
yesterday,
there. Yeah.
so I'm going to step up and be a title sponsor for you. So, talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so when I first got the gig at Mercy, I wanted to do something for the middle schoolers because I remember, for one, when I was over at St. Rita as a kid, like I noticed when the high school coaches were there watching us play,
Mhm.
and then if we ever got to do anything at like Trinity or St. X or DeSales or whatever, dude, it felt like
Yeah.
this is awesome, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like yeah.
even the kids and the coaches as an adult now and a coach, I'm like, dude, there's nothing special about me, but they think I'm cool,
Right.
right? And I tell the girls that all the time. I'm like, I like, so we have a great relationship. Like, I mess with them. Like, you guys are losers, but they think you're cool. So be nice to them, right? These little girls. So I was like, you know what would be fun is if we got a tournament going here and they got to play, because Mercy has a really nice facility. So we got this awesome turf field, and we'll do it up real big and make it a lot of fun and do trophies and all tournament teams and all that jazz. And so start off, I could only get 4 teams to commit the first year. It was still really fun. Last year we got it up to 6, and this year we're at 16 teams that are playing in this thing. Like, I had to cut it off.
Yeah.
So I think word got out to like how fun this was or whatever, because we do it. You know how I am,
Yeah.
man. You know I'm over top. But it's called Under the Lights, and it's for the Catholic middle schools. We only do the 7th and 8th grade teams. You know, there's been some people reach out like, hey, what do y'all think about 5th and 6th? Which would be great, but to me, I'm thinking like when I was at St. Rita, the 7th and 8th grade team got the yellow pants, right? Like,
Yeah.
which is something small.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
But it
that
was
was something to
something
look forward
special.
to.
Yeah, it was something
right?
special.
So I got to thinking, I was like, that would be, if I'm a 5th grader and my big sister's on the 8th grade team and they get to play at Under the Lights, like that's something for me to look forward to when I get into 7th and 8th grade. So I want to keep it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gotten huge, and now we got you on board, which I very much appreciate. You've always been great. Everything we've done, even with Red Rays, you would sponsor us. So I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, Under the Lights, August 15th. 16 of the best CSAA teams coming out to play, and we'll have 2 fields going all day, and then we'll end the championship game under the lights about 8:30 or so.
That's
So
awesome.
looking forward to that.
Well, man, I appreciate you coming in. I mean, other than obviously just being a good friend for all these years, I mean, you've obviously supported my business. I've worked with you and
Yep.
your family. I've helped your parents. I've helped your brother. So I mean, the least I can do is support you, and also you're an amazing coach. I mean,
I
I've seen
appreciate it.
it firsthand.
I still like I said, I don't know, but
You absolutely are.
tricking
I've seen
people
it-
so far. So it's
No,
working.
I've seen it firsthand, and again, there's no doubt in my mind you're going to win a state title. And I again wanted to have you on to do what I can to help promote your program, because I know you're building something special. I think Mercy is lucky to have you, and I think
appreciate it,
it's amazing what you're doing there. Not only you know, for the community, but I mean for the girls, right? Because you're teaching them life lessons, you're building confidence in them, and you're opening doors that weren't open before, right? Like, you're giving them real opportunity to get college paid for and do something special that maybe they wouldn't have had an opportunity to do that other than flag. So I just think it's amazing.
Make me feel awkward, man. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No, so the last thing I will say is obviously encourage people to support you and your program, to come out to the games. Any parent out there with a elementary or middle school girl that's considering high school and is somewhat interested in playing football in high school needs to give Mercy a look.
Yeah, reach out.
And then, yeah, just I appreciate you coming on, buddy.
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, and look, like these people that want to get with me, like easy to find. You know, you can get on Mercy's website, and our email address is there. We got Instagram is Mercy Football, and then Facebook. You can get on there. I post a lot. Like I said, social media is a big deal to me, so I very much appreciate it, man. And thank you for having me and all the support over the years, specifically with Mercy. But yeah, this is fun, man. I'll do it again.
Appreciate it. That's a wrap. Thanks,
All right,
man.
buddy. Thank you.
Yep.